Coming up, we hear about Langford Aboriginal Association and the great range of services they provide for their community. We join them on a trip to the Indigenous Cultural Centre in Northam.
Well, I love coming back to country because every year we have a trip planned, Ballagong elders and families. We do come back every year to our country, and it's the best experience we've always had. It's lovely feeling like we have all the get together with all our kids and families, and we have yarning time, and it's just so overwhelming. And then we yarn and with all the families about. And we go out to all these places where all our ancestors all live, and all the old camps, and to all the old wells, and where the kids just all go swimming. So it's like a healing thing to me. It's very healing, and it's just we only go away for a long weekend, but it's. I feel like we should go for a bit longer, because you get so overwhelming that you don't want to leave.
As Mari mentioned, it's always a healing. I'm a spiritual person anyway, and I think a lot of Noongars are, or another Aboriginal people, and it just makes you forget about your woes and things, and you get back into that era when our old ancestors and their traditions were very well respected, and this is why it's important that we all come here, and I'm so happy that we came to see this centre, the Belia Kurud Budja Centre. And it reflects on all the previous generations of 65,000 years plus of Aboriginal culture, and I'm so proud of it.
Why do you think it's really important to pass stories on to the younger generation? Why is it important to us as Noongar people?
To keep the culture alive, and so the young generation can learn it and pass on to their and pass on from so on to so on and so on, to keep it alive. And
we don't want to lose our culture.
Alive and connected.
We just want to keep it going.
And to add to that is for the Kulingers of today to show respect to their elders. A lot of that got lost along the way, and and what I find wonderful about the Aboriginal culture is we may not be related, but any young fellas come along, they will call you, they'll say, if they're a bit younger, they'll say, when we were younger, they would say, hi sis, and then as we got older, they said, oh, hello aunt, and then now it's Nana. But that's from people that aren't even related to us. So that's the respect, and that we hope that to continue. And I instill that in my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. And they also now are learning the Aboriginal Noongar language, and it's a very hard language to learn because it's hard to pronounce. But we used to say those Noongar words in the old days until we started doing language at Angela's fabulous Langford Aboriginal Association, and the linguist there taught us how to pronounce the words properly, and now that has benefited us because it passed on to my great-grannies, who are now practising that at the schools in Perth. Yes.
Another thing too, Jill, like today, our young ones didn't live like our ancestors lived. Like we could live in two worlds. We could live in our Aboriginal way, and we could live in our wild way, because that's how So if we give our culture back to our kids, well, that's a good thing for us.
Beautiful.
Well, for me, as the elder of this group, it's important to pass it on to each and every one, and all family members, even if it's outside your immediate family, so the knowledge is passed down to generations, because our learning is word of mouth, going out, visiting, seeing, touching, smelling, and we need to take our young ones out to do all that learning, so they pass it down to generations to come. But always remember, living that life is our country. We have to go back to it. If we're not within our own country, we go in the country that we're on, spend some time out in that bush. And like now, the wildflowers are going mad, the sheer abundance. And every year, I normally go, and I haven't been, and I've got lots of phone calls to say, come on, you won't heal if you don't get up amongst these flowers. So being on our country, smelling those gum trees, smelling the plants, it's all healing. And we need to do that on a regular basis, which a lot of our young ones are missing out on now.